Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today I have the most mind-boggling carry build of all time. Honestly, this is something where you're just like, you know what, Dota's not even real anymore. This game's fake. It makes no sense. I don't understand. It can't be real because honestly, the fact that, okay, you're gonna look at the items, you're gonna vomit in your mouth, okay? You will. Why in the world does Ursa carry Ursa, and this is Ame by the way, one of Dota's greatest carries of all time, has a Heart of Tarask, a Yule Scepter of Divinity, and an Octarine Core on Ursa Warrior. Why does he have these items? Well, we're gonna dive into that today and talk about the Chinese Ursa. This build originated in China from what I was told, and yeah, we're gonna break down how you can play this new, fun, and interesting Ursa build. Alright, before we get into the main part of the video, I do want to let you guys know that I'm not only posting videos here on YouTube, I also frequently post videos on the website. If you don't know what I'm talking about, almost every single day I'm posting a new video to the GameLeap website. We're going to teach you guys in depth about how to get to the next level. So if you want to become absolutely broken, click the link down below and sign up. Alright, so let's really skip into the meat and potatoes. For the majority of the early game, you're not that strong. I mean, at the end of the day, you're Ursa, so in terms of plays like this at around minute 17, where we see Ame connect with his Sand King and get a kill, you do a lot of damage. Even though you have a Yules, you still have Battle Fury, and you still have Fury Swipes. Your hero inherently does a very specific amount of damage, and honestly, a lot of items don't actually upgrade this damage. That's kind of one of the weird things about Ursa as a carry. A lot of damage items just sort of don't work with the hero because it has built-in attack speed and built-in damage in a very odd way that just, well, simply doesn't interact with damage items. And so that's the point of this build. You're building HP because naturally your talents and abilities actually work better with health in a lot of ways. So yeah, in terms of the gameplay guys, I just want to make it very simple. You're going to rush Battle Fury, obviously in the laning stage, Treads, Magic Wand. He also bought a Wraith Band because the hero has pretty bad armor. Just build the standard items, right? Nothing crazy. Then you're going to build your Battle Fury, Cornucopia first for a little bit of regen, some mana regen, and you're going to farm up the bottom side of the map, or the top side, obviously, if you are on Radiant. Then he's going to farm up this rotation pretty consistently, right? Push in the bottom lane if it's close to his tower. If it's not, he's going to farm all of the back camps and eventually the Ancients when it comes towards the minimark. And this is very, very standard for most Battle Fury heroes. So in terms of that, absolutely nothing has changed. However, outside of that is where things really change. He has a Yules. Now, why are you buying Yules? Honestly, I'm not sold on the Yules, guys. I'll be 100% real. I'm not sold on it whatsoever. Here's what Yules does for Ursa, at least in this game. It means that time dilation doesn't work. He can juke a lot of spells. He can dodge LSA, Venge Stun, Axe Call, he can stop Axe Call, he can Yules off Quap Dagger, and as I said earlier, Time Dilation. So it's good for that. It gives him some mana, gives him some movement speed. He'll never run out of mana with this item build. It's pretty good in that regard, but I find it a little bit suspect, and honestly, as I said, I'm not sold, but let's keep going. And so let's actually talk about when Ursa hits a timing with this build. The main point of this build is to play around the level 15 talent. That is actually the main point of this build. Urshok applies 2 Fury Swipes. Why is this so important? Every time you hit anyone with your Q, the next auto attack will do a bonus 74 damage. That's very significant considering this ability is only an 8-second cooldown, right? It's quite short. On top of that, if you buy Octarine, it goes down to 6, and at level 25, it gains 2 charges, and so you can use it back to back on someone, racking up damage very quickly. On top of that, at level 10, he has 20 Fury Swipes reset time, so every time you put Fury Swipes on someone, it takes forever for it to go away. And so if you're just casually applying it to people with Urshok, even if it's not intentional, it will stay on them for a very, very long time. At level 20, you have Urshok Radius, and it becomes massive. You're going to be applying Urshok to so many heroes and slowing so many heroes. The Fury Swipes damage is tempting and is taken by some players, and you can keep that in mind. And at level 25, you take Urshok as 2 charges. And so basically the way you do damage is you build up Fury Swipes primarily through your Q. It's quite cool, but you can see how it all comes together. Every single talent works by just staying alive and clicking your Q. And you'll see in a team fight like this, right? He can go in, he actually Yules the Quap there, which I thought was funny. I thought it was funny because it didn't lead into anything, which is why I'm like, it's kind of goofy. It's why I don't like Yules that much. I kind of just think like, I don't know, I kind of think going Blink and just being able to be active early on is better. Or just even rushing Heart, I feel like would somewhat be better. Like, yes, you get mana, but you don't even need it that much, like, honestly, especially if your neutral item gives it. But either way, in this team fight, he can frontline very easily. It's a lot of health at this point of the game. He's got Vampire Fangs, very, very tanky. And you'll see this axe, you might be like, oh, there's no way he's killing this guy, right? He has Yule's Vitality Booster. Even his neutral item doesn't give any damage, but it's Ursa, as we said. Eventually, when he clicks his Q, he goes from 163 damage on his auto. The next auto does 239, a very significant jump in damage. And so even though you're not killing them extremely quickly, you are going to kill them over time, and the damage truly adds up. Now, when you hit this early hard timing, your hero is certainly a monster. You're incredibly difficult to deal with because, well, you're absurdly tanky, you can dispel everything, you have Enrage, which makes you very hard to kill, and he also bought his shard, so every time he uses Urshock, he gets 1.5 seconds of Enrage, making him even harder to burst. Right, and so you'll see in this team fight here, he can go in, gets on top of the Faceless Void, who, you know, kind of messed up, but whatever, kills him off, even with purely defensive items, is able to burst the enemy carry, who doesn't have that much less net worth than him, and he's able to take out the Venge as well. In this next clip here, it's actually a complete disaster for his team, but I would like to show it off anyway, because I think it's a good demonstration of the potential power of the hero in a situation like this, right? You're 13k ahead because your hero is quite good early on, right? Especially with these items. But yeah, he goes in. I mean, this is obviously psychotic. His Rubik's dead, his Sand King's dead, his Phoenix is dead, but he's like, you know what? I'm going in anyway. I'm gonna try, I'm gonna let it test. He's got his Earthshock radius, which by the way, look how big it is, right? Look how huge that is. It's the same radius as something like the Overwhelming Blink, which he has queued up next, which I think honestly sucks. I'll get into why. I think it's the wrong idea. But either way, kills off the axe. And yeah, you're very, very powerful because now when you go into this quap, she's already got 2 Fury Swipes. And so you already have 74 bonus damage. That's the same damage that Daedalus gives. You know, obviously Daedalus also gives crit, but you get the point. It's the same amount. And so now he clicks his Q and same thing, right? The Fury Swipes are going to start to apply. Does it not hit Lina because she's flying? Oh, that's so weird. But the Fury Swipes will apply to the other heroes as long as they're not flying. And so unfortunately he's going to get kited, which is obviously only because, right, he's surrounded by 4 heroes with 0 backup. But realistically, in a more normal team fight, the Qs are going to start to add up. 4, 4, 7, 8, and they don't end, right? This is going to be lasting for forever. And now all of a sudden, Faceless Void, who hasn't even been hit very much, has 8 stacks. And so he's going to end up going down, but look when he hits the Void. He's going to do a massive chunk of damage right here. Almost kills the Venge with Cleave as well. These autos are huge. They're huge with no damage items. And so that's the potential power. Even as he tries to 1v4, his stacks start to build up. Now, we're skipping very, very far ahead, but we'll talk about the next few items quickly. He's going for Overwhelming Blink and Wind Waker. The idea behind the Wind Waker is it's reduced cooldown with the Octarine Core, bringing it to an 8.6 second cooldown with the Spell Prism. Extremely low. It lets you be absurdly mobile and stick on top of people, right? It also buys time for more Earthshock charges, which is very relevant. The reason why I don't like Overwhelming Blink that much is, yes, it makes you tanky, and obviously that's good. It's 500 health, well, a bit more than that nowadays, but I like Arcane Blink a lot more. The reason why the Arcane Blink, it just lets you move around. It cuts the cooldown in Blink by more than half, brings it all the way down to 7 seconds, and with Octarine and Spell Prism, it brings it way, way lower. Where you have like a 4-second cooldown Blink, or like 5, right? And you can go in and out, in and out, in and out. And I think that makes a lot of sense with the Wind Waker. And so yes, it's good obviously for the AoE slow, for a little bit of health, but your Q is already a massive AoE slow, and I feel like it's somewhat redundant, right? But you'll see in this fight, right? 1 Q onto the axe, and here's where it starts to build up, okay? Just starts to build up over time, slowly but surely. And by the way, you cannot dispel it, okay? This is not something you can just BKB off. It just stays on you. And so this axe, he hasn't taken any real damage here, but another Q will come out from the Ursa. All of a sudden, okay, next auto attack, 222 more damage, right? We're getting close to Rapier territories just from Earthshock, and you can see Earthshock, 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 onto Lina, 9 stacks, 300 damage. And yes, you don't burst people. You don't have Abyssal Blade, you don't have MKB, you don't burst. But you do slowly kill them off. 1 stun onto Lina, she's dead. All of a sudden, Axe has 12 stacks. Where in the world did he get 12 stacks? Well, just random Earthshocks. And now these auto attacks shred him. They absolutely shred him. You can see he kills the axe from like half HP with 0 damage items. And that is the main idea here. You hit this timing where you have all of these Earthshock talents and people just die accidentally. And the lower and lower MMR you go, the more people clump up and the more stacks you build up. Alright, and to finish off the video, I just want to show you a goofy example of how funny this build is. Specifically the level 10 talent, the 20 Fury Swipes reset time, how funny it actually is. But alright, in this team fight, oh, let me quickly say something, guys. The biggest downside of this build is it's so bad at taking buildings, and so honestly, I think this build is best paired with something like a Brewmaster that can actually help you end the game. Because yes, you're tanky, but no, you don't do jack shittily dirt to the towers. You don't do anything. And so you completely rely on killing heroes to actually end the game, which can become a big problem, right? When it comes to diving the base. It's hard, it's difficult, it's dangerous. But yeah, in this team fight here, he builds up 12 stacks on Faceless Void. Now let's watch it from Faceless Void's perspective. My man chips out of clarity. He's like, okay, game is hard. I got 12 stacks on me. Now he's gonna get earth shocked. I have 14 stacks. And it's like, okay, he's got 14 stacks. He's sitting in his base. I'm playing this even in an increased speed. He's kiting the outside of the fight. You're like, okay, surely the stacks are starting to end. No, it's only a third done. 658 extra damage on the next hit. Only a third done, goes in, okay, cast time dilation. You're like, all right, whatever. Next time he goes in, it'll be gone, right? Surely, next time it will be gone. Oh no, but Ursa blinks in and the radius is way too big and it hits the Faceless Void. And now he has 16 stacks. And so now the Ursa Qs again, and now he has 18 stacks. It's like, what in the world? Why does Axe have 21 and why does this guy have 18? You know, why does Quap have 18 stacks? Why does everyone take a bonus 2 rapiers from Ursa, right? Why? That's just how it goes. So when Axe calls him, Axe, well, he didn't reset the stacks either. And so this guy can't really fight the Ursa. No one can truly fight the Ursa now. Yes, he's getting kited a bit. I think you could definitely work in an Abyssal at some point, but like, look at these autos. Look at these autos onto the Quap. This is insane. 0 damage items, right? Goes in, look at these hits. That's right there, oh my God. It's like a Sven. Axe goes in, still has 28 stacks on him. So he dies even with call armor. And so yeah, that is what's so goofy, guys. It like in a fight that drags out, it's just unbelievable how much damage you actually do. But all right, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys give it a shot. I know it's a weird build, but it is actually legit. There's a lot of people doing it. This is not a one-off game, like at all. There's a bunch of people doing it in a bunch of different regions, and I'll see you in the next one.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.